Welcome, Step Kids. This is the Stepdad Soundcheck. I am Mark. That is Dan. We are joined by a special guest today. And I do want to make a very quick call out to one special step kid that just had a birthday recently. He's actually a redheaded step kid. That would be Mr. Kalen Dowden.
Happy birthday, Kalen.
Hey, happy birthday.
Daniel, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yeah, I sure will. Real quick, before I introduce our guest for today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. I have troubling news, Mark. It's about our YouTube channel. We have 67 subscribers right now. It would be really nice if we could get 2 more. That way we'd have 69 subscribers. So please, let's get at least 2 more subscribers so we can escape this 6-7 number, please.
Hey, you praised it by doing the hand gesture with it.
Our very special guest today is a good buddy of mine that I'll describe how we met later, but I've known Major now for, I think close to a year now, right, Major? I think maybe.
Yeah, give or take some change, me.
So everybody, this is Bill Celestino. This is MajorDrumKill. Major's here to join us today to talk about his band, Echostone, what other projects they've got coming up, what new events Echostone has on the horizon here. And we're going to talk about video games and music. That is today's topic because Major and I met in the world of Warcraft, that is. Major and I met in World of Warcraft. Funny enough, my real stepdaughter bumped into Major while she was playing World of Warcraft. She invited him to our guild, and Major's been a good buddy ever since then. I found out he was a drummer, and I was like, oh, finally, my people are in here.
A fellow musician.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, Major, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking some time to speak with us today. Please introduce yourself. Tell everyone about what you do.
All right, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, guys. Like you said, my name is Bill Celestino. Happy to be here. And as far as what I do, well, let's see. I'm an IT nerd by day for my work, and then I'm a gaming nerd and musician at night. Is really the simplest way to put it.
Now, aside from your real job and your band, you've also, I believe you've just recently quit another band, but then you got your Twitch stream on top of that. You're juggling a lot. If you don't mind, what happened with Irreverie? You were also a drummer for a little while in Irreverie. What happened there?
So nothing bad. I've been doing music professionally since about 2008, and I joined Echostone after my main band unfortunately had to hang the coats up, several years ago. And then I joined Echostone back in I either joined them late 21 or early 22. I can't remember, but it was around there. And the band you were asking about, Irreverie, 2 good friends of mine are in that band, and they reached out to me personally asking if I would be interested in drumming with them in their band. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Because, Echostone is, it's good stuff, but we're bringing back like that 90s, early 2000s rock sound. So I have my moments where I just want to, throw down, so I was like, okay, I guess I can drum for you guys, see how that goes. Metalcore, I enjoy listening to metalcore. Never really had the opportunity to play it, so I looked at it as a new challenge. And I was with them for several months, and unfortunately I did have to drop out of it because my main band now, Echostone, we have some pretty big and exciting things coming up over the horizon, and it's going to require all my focus, so I had to break that bad news to the guys there, and they completely understood, and they do support me with Echostone, so they were all understanding, and that's pretty much what happened with the Reverie. It was nothing bad by any means.
Okay, well, good to hear. I'm glad it's no bad blood. I'll talk about Echostone and the album here in just a moment, but how did you end up in Echostone? Did you guys grow up together?
I wouldn't say we grew up, but I was really good friends with the lead guitar player, Will Driver. He was also, when I met him, he was also drumming for a band locally in my area. And we've done a lot of shows together with our bands. So we just kind of, became buddies over the years as we were gigging with them. And he had to leave that band. Funny enough, I actually filled in for him for about a year with that band, and then the band broke up. But, years go by, he had a daughter, and he was focusing on the parent life for, a good handful of years. And then all of a sudden he's coming back into the music scene, but as a guitar player now. And he called me out of the blue one day and he's like, hey man, so here's the deal. I have a new project going now, but I'm not drumming for it. I'm taking a new approach and I want to play guitar. I want to experience how it is to stand at the front of the stage as opposed to sitting in the back. And I was like, yeah, man, that's awesome. Go for it. And he said, I want you to drum for it. And I said, say less. Let me hear what you got. So he sent me, a couple of the songs song ideas that they had from the very beginning, which were the first 3 songs we released. And things were going good, feeling good. Everybody was on board with it. And then we were like, all right, now we need a bass player. And I said, funny enough, I have a good friend who plays bass, and he's right here 10 minutes away from the recording studio we use. So I hit him up, and he heard the songs. He's like, count me in, let's do it. And that's how Echostone formed. So it was strictly a like a chain reaction of people we know.
Awesome.
Yeah. Something I've noticed about drummers in general, there is a surplus of guitarists and bass players. We all know that. There is not a surplus of drummers and vocalists. So I found, especially when we were doing music in Denton and I would go out and see all these live shows, there's one drummer in Denton, Hagen House Shield, and that dude played in like 6 different bands. And I don't know how he stayed on top of all of it, but he was one of those guys that could just show up and just know what to play. It just worked for him. And there were several drummers like that in the Denton, Texas area. So I've just kind of noticed that about the drumming world in specific.
That's the same situation out here too, man. Like, there's so many people that are playing guitar or learning guitar. Same with bassists. People that are trying to be serious and like start up their bands or look for members for their existing band. They're always looking for like the same type of members. It's like, oh, we need a drummer who can do this, or a vocalist that can scream or do gutturals or blah blah blah. Like it's a very common search for multiple bands, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally.
Well, and the price of entry for learning and owning and playing drums and having a place to play drums, you can't just play them anywhere. I think that's kind of a hindrance for young people that are trying to get into that particular instrument. I'm a great drummer on my lap. I can do that all day long, but I can barely pat my head and rub my tummy at the same time. So drums, my hands and my feet do not work together. So never was something I could grasp onto. But I know Jackie Brock from Shreveport, Louisiana, plays guitar in one band, plays drums in another band. So I've seen a lot of that. Will Hughes from April's Love Affair played drums in one band, played guitar in another band. So common to see that, but you don't really see guitar players that are mainly guitar players shifting over to drums very often.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if there's, we all know at least a person or two that can play multiple instruments and does stuff like that, but at least in my area, I want to say it's primarily people who just stick to their one instrument. And I think the multi-talented people that can play multiple instruments are usually those who do their own recordings at home, so they don't have to rely on other musicians. They just do it themselves.
Our first drummer, Cody, picked up guitar and just said, I'm going to teach myself. And he did it.
He sure
He's not
did.
a great guitar player, but he is perfectly serviceable. But he does a lot of recording at home. And he was like, I'm tired of you guys not sending me emails with tracks in them. So I'm just going to write my own guitars.
Well, with Cody, not just that, but he had a lot of ideas floating around his head. And of course, he would try to sing them to us in his guitar mouth language. And, it just doesn't come out the way that he's got in his mind. So he said, screw it, I'm just going to do it myself. That's totally understandable.
One thing about certain drummers that absolutely blows my mind, I cannot comprehend it, and I'm always impressed when I see it, are drummers that also do either back or main vocals. Drummer for Seven Dust is a really good example. The drummer for Mastodon. Morgan Rose. He's a phenomenal drummer. Also a great vocalist. Yes. Drummer for Mastodon was another one that always kind of blew me away. And there are some others out there. I can't think of them right this moment, but I'm always just like, how do you do that? Because you're counting in your head. You got to be, right?
Yeah. I don't consider myself a vocalist or any type of singer at all. Like I'm the type of guy who sings when I'm like rocking out in the car by myself or like in the shower or something, but I don't. Yeah, you'll never see me doing it in front of people. But in my head, like, sometimes I'll like be mumbling like lyrics or vocals or rhythms to songs because it kind of like helps me with my cues because I'm primarily an ear drummer. Like I can't read music. I never took lessons like that. I'm 100% self-taught. I taught myself to work off of certain cues, whether it's like the rhythm of the vocals or the rhythm of the guitars or whatever it is. Whatever stands out to me is what I go off of. So sometimes like in my head or mumbling, I'm doing the same thing, just not like out loud. So I get it. And it can be challenging.
So, in middle school, were you in band or high school? Like, how did drums get into your life?
No, I was never in band. I wanted to, but never did. As far as how drums came to me, dude, I started at 3 years old. Watching Animal from the Muppets, beating on my mom's pots and pans in front of the television. That's what got me started. And then my parents got me my first real drum kit when I was 5. And at at 5, that's when I started watching music videos to the bands that I really liked, which in particular, when I was 5, my top 3 influences were Kiss, Metallica, Black Sabbath, and Ozzy.
Okay.
So,
super classic.
Oh, yeah.
2 of those are notorious for having awful drummers, too. Peter Criss, not that great, and fuck Lars Ulrich.
Wow.
I'm sorry if you're a Lars fan. I can't stand him.
No. I like him for what he does for Metallica. Like, he plays the drums, I feel. But
yes,
I like Lars's older stuff a lot better. I'll put it that way.
I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I think the whole thing behind Kiss was just more of the gimmick, the cosmetics that they have, like, because they stood out, like, you know, especially during their era, nobody was really doing stuff like that, so they just stood out, and it caught my attention as a kid. So I was like, oh, they're cool. Metallica. The music video that really got me into them was the music video for the song One.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
One is my all-time favorite Metallica song of all time. And the drumming on that, honestly, I feel is one of Lars's, how can I word this? I feel like it's like one of the most unique songs that Lars has done drums for, because, you know, he does things in that song that he doesn't really do with a lot of the other Metallica songs.
That was my first exposure to double bass.
I was just about to say that, like the that stretch with all like the up until the solo and stuff like that with all the double kick work. I mean, yeah, there's bands out there at that time like Slayer who do like straight double bass, but you know, Lars was like chopping it up, and it was just all, in my opinion, it just sounded tasty. So that's why it stood out to me. Ozzy Osbourne, to me, when I was younger, he was just an outstanding front man. Like the way that he talked and interacted with the crowd and stuff, like it stood out to me, and I just went down the rabbit hole of listening to both Black Sabbath's work and his solo work. And I've just, for the rest of my life to this day, a hardcore Ozzy fan.
Well, Ozzy always surrounded himself with phenomenal musicians. He was really, really good at finding the talent to do what the Ozzy brand was. You know, I think my first really aha moment with drums was Alex Van Halen for the beginning of Hot for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher, yep.
And that, I was just like, I've never heard anything like that before. And I was young and impressionable, and I was like, that is sick.
Yep.
You know?
See, because I think when I was like, you know, obviously I heard it when I was way younger, like on the radio and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, I thought it was like a sound effect intro of a motorcycle at first. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's, I don't see how a motorcycle is relevant to, you know, being in school, but whatever. Sounds cool. And then as I'm, you know, getting older and looking into drums and stuff, I'm like, oh, that was not a motorcycle. That's impressive drum work. Okay, cool.
He just mastered that offbeat, off-rhythm drumming to make it sound like a cammed out Harley Davidson motorcycle, and it was just like, that was unreal. And then to duplicate it every night live, that's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very impressive for sure.
I think one of my earliest drummers, you know, like especially when we're first listening to music, drums are just drums and they're just kind of there unless you're a drummer and you're specifically paying attention to them. And then, you know, as a guitarist, me and Mark, I promise you, we had tunnel vision on guitar. And as we were just wanting to hear what the guitarists were going to do. But I'd say Jose Pasillas from Incubus.
Oh, yeah,
the first time when I really started to see the body of what drums could provide. And that's definitely when I really started to pay more attention to drummers, was when I started to notice Jose's style. Yeah. Before that, drums were drums. Yeah.
I think the same thing for that for me would be Abe Cunningham from Deftones.
Sure.
Oh, dude.
Just one of the best drummers out there. And he gets so little notoriety for being as good as he is. But my God, just some of the stuff he does, I don't think any other drummer could fit Deftones, honestly.
Yeah, he's friggin' awesome. And when I'm like looking out there and opening myself up to discovering all these different bands and different styles, and when I first stumbled upon Deftones, the first thing that stood out to me was how crispy his snare drum was.
Mm-hmm.
He's got such a beautiful sounding snare, dude. Always. Like, it's so crispy. And that was the first thing that stood out to me with that. And I'm like, oh, this drummer's good. Just by that snare drum alone, he's good.
I wonder if he has a signature snare.
I'm sure he has.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure. I never looked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, though.
I've never had a reason to look.
To circle back around to Echostone, you guys have such a marketable sound. You guys, like, there's no, like, how busy is your band? Because number one, you guys appear to have maybe 3 to 4 years worth of online social media presence and streaming presence. That's number one. Thing two, man, you guys have such an easy rock sound. When I say an easy rock sound, there's, you know, especially me and Mark, we are just inundated with heavy stuff and, you know, tons of streaming that we've just become acclimated to over time. And Echostone is the antithesis of all of that. You kind of nailed it earlier and said that you guys are very reminiscent of kind of late 90s rock and maybe some early 2000s rock. What's the story behind, I guess, Echostone's approach? Like, where does that come from?
Well, I guess I would say at first it starts with like all the influences that we all had coming into the band. Our singer Wes, he does majority of the writing. Like he and will start the writing process and they'll like lay the foundation of, you know, whatever it is they're writing, and they're always writing based off of, you know, their influences. Like their favorite bands would be bands like Shinedown, Seether, 3 Days Grace, stuff like that. So, you know, they would just start an idea of a song. They'll get a basic idea, be like, hey, so Bill, here's kind of an idea of what we got, and we have a general idea of what we might want the drums to sound like, but let's hear what you got. And then, you know, I'll listen to it. I'll, on my electric drums in the other room, I'll record like a quick first thing that comes to mind kind of idea, and then we just kind of work on things together and just piece it all together. Be like, that part sounds great, this part I'm not feeling that, let's try something different here, blah blah blah, and we just kind of piece it together after that once we have a general idea. And after that, we just polish it.
How busy are you guys? Like, I think you guys have some House of Blues shows coming up here soon, right?
Yeah, buddy. We are playing House of Blues in Orlando this coming Friday, June 12th.
Very nice.
Yep, and we're playing at the one in Myrtle Beach in July, I believe. Yeah, July. Okay. But yeah, as far as our schedules go, yeah, it's up and down because, you know, it depends on if we're putting ourselves into the mindset where we need to focus on writing new content, because the way we approach things as far as our music goes is a little different than your typical approach would be with any other band, because we're all roughly the same age, I'm assuming. Back when we were doing like bands in our younger days, you know, the idea and the goal was to, we're going to write songs and we're going to go to recording studio and we're going to put them all on an album or an EP for like 4 or 5 songs or whatever the deal is. You know, we're going to put all the songs we have on a CD and then we're going to release that CD, right? That's the typical goal. Echostone doesn't do that. We don't have a single album.
I'm glad you're addressing this because I was going to if you didn't. You guys are single heavy.
Yes. And the reason why we do that, our approach with that, is because it helps keep us stay relevant, like on the feed and stuff, you know, because we're releasing a new song about every 3 to 4 months, and every single song we release has a music video. And the reason why we do this is because, you know, we can release an EP or an album and people can buy it, sure, but off of that EP or off of that album, people are only going to like this one song, or maybe this 2 songs, maybe these 3 songs. All the other ones they don't care for, and to us that's kind of wasted. Whereas when we do it single by single, our entire following base is putting all eyes and ears on that one song, and it stays that way every 3 to 4 months. So we took that approach to help it with engagement, and to, you know, have everybody just be more aware of all of our content, as opposed to just these couple songs off of that album.
So y'all aren't just a band, you're also a content creation business, essentially.
I guess you could say that. We try. Yeah.
You guys have great looking videos, like well produced. They look terrific.
Thank you. Yeah, we're all self-produced, man.
I mean, for a modern band these days, that makes sense. And I think in one of our first few episodes, Mark addressed, you know, the modern practice of a lot of major bands just trickling out their singles that are going to lead up to an album. So, you know, for you guys, you've released a lot of singles over the last probably 3 or 4 years. Do you guys think you'll eventually say, okay, well, time to wrangle all these up, and here's all the singles you've heard for the last few years, here's the album now?
Yeah, we already have one CD like that, but we're a handful of singles beyond what that CD was already. So it's about time to do it again. Okay. But yeah, we definitely, I think we made a CD that had like 5 or 6 of our songs on it up until that point. So yeah, we did that. We definitely need to do it again though. But yeah, as far as like the content stuff, like Mark said, yeah, we're like, we record ourselves. Wes is also our producer. He records and everything for the band. So Wes records us, and then, you know, he and the studio owner that he works with do the mastering. And then we have a guy, Jason King's his name, J King Visuals. He does our videography for our videos. So we create the music, and then when it's time, we call up our buddy Jason and we're like, hey, time to get to work. And that's it. Like it's honestly really good to have like our own personal little group that handles everything. So we're truly blessed to be in that type of situation.
So with your House of Blues shows that are coming up, are you going to be doing main stage shows, or are you doing like club stage shows? I remember the House of Blues in Dallas had 2 separate venues within that venue.
Oh no. This House of Blues in Orlando, it's only got one stage.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's no upstage and bottom stage. At least when I was there last time a few months ago, that was what I saw, because it was just the main stage and you got the lower ground level, and then you got the seats on the upper level that look down at the stage.
Yep, that's where my old ass likes to sit.
Up top? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get kicked in the head, man.
Yeah, no. Dude, I don't blame you, man. Like, my personal preference when it comes to going to shows is standing at the very back on the lower level or going up top, because you get a better view, and B, it sounds better.
Yep.
And I never understood the mindset that people have when they're like, oh, you're wearing up in front, you're not supporting me. It's like, no, I'm standing at the back because I want to hear how you sound.
Yes.
Yeah. If I've got to stand, I'm standing either next to the sound guy or I'm standing as close to the bar as I possibly can, because I don't want to fight my way through every time I'm up here.
Fair.
But I found that at House of Blues in Dallas, that upper section is the place to sit. And I just don't want to stand dick to ass with a bunch of sweaty people in the pit. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah. Especially with this new thing now called the crowd killer.
What's the crowd killer?
You don't know what crowd killing is?
No, I don't either.
All right. Okay, so you guys know what moshing is, of course.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine out of all the people in the mosh pit minding their business, pushing each other around, having fun, you got that one asshole who decides to run around the outer ring of the mosh pit and just start punching the people that are not in the pit, just watching everybody. They will attack the people on the outside of the mosh pit. It's called
I've not
crowd
heard
killing.
of this practice. I've not heard of this
crowd
practice.
killing. Yeah.
I've seen that before, and then I've also seen the windmill arm guys and all that kind of shit. I'm like,
Yeah, how they
you want to
suddenly
fight? We can
Bruce
meet
Lee.
out front after the show, but like, I'm trying to watch the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think whenever I was young, I wanted to stand close to the stage so I could look at their pedals and so I could look at their gear and really get that perspective. But yes, as I've aged, I want VIP. I am sitting down somewhere, and it's probably up top. I would prefer to be right in the center so I have good sound. If I'm going to stand on the bottom, I'm also going to stand in the back for all those reasons you mentioned, Major. But also, when it's time to go, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of the back first. I'm getting to my car. I am leaving. I will not be in traffic.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Yeah, so all of that.
As we're older, those are very valid reasons.
Those are your priorities.
Yeah, those reasons are very valid the older we get. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all can stand in the pit and beg for an encore. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Mark, did you have any other questions for Major about Echostone or what he's up to?
I did some listening to Echostone. I'm going to be honest with you, Major. It's not my style of music, but I think it was excellently produced. I think there is a market for that music right now. If you notice, things like emo and post-hardcore are making a comeback, and I think there is room for the nostalgia side of that late 90s, early 2000s, almost kind of punky influenced rock to make a comeback, and I think you guys are doing it really well.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. We've had some people say that the style is emo. Musically, I don't think I hear the emo part of it, but the lyrical content can come off emo, but that's just because when Wes writes his lyrics, they come from real places and personal experiences. So he writes from the heart. So So for that aspect, I get.
Yeah, y'all ever come to Iowa, I will come see you.
Nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with Mark. Echostone is not really what I don't have a lot of bands similar to Echostone in my library. Mark and I are kind of hungry for prog guitar players and just crazy titans of the metalcore world that are just doing things that are different that we've not heard before. But like I mentioned earlier, you guys are so freaking sellable. You guys have you guys are all packaged up and ready to go. You have great visual presentations. You guys have plenty of songs to keep probably a 45-minute set going, I would imagine.
The longest set we've played so far was an hour and a half.
I believe it. Yeah, hour and a half. I'm so happy for you guys. I really wish the best for you guys, and I want to continue to follow you guys and see what's going to happen.
Thank you.
Now, to kind of transition to today's topic, you guys said a three-letter dirty word that I hate. It draws a picture of what's going to happen with rock and metal culture over the last, call it 20 to 30 years. We had the MTV days of rock and metal, Headbangers Ball, and then some TRL. And then emo happens. That's our three-letter dirty word. Emo happens.
I figured.
That's kind of the last thing that a lot of people who used to listen to rock and metal more often, that's kind of the last big milestone that people remember of this genre. And then all of a sudden, Guitar Hero.
He can play Guitar Hero acoustically.
Yeah, but can he play Buckethead on expert level?
Go ahead, Thad. Show him what you can do. Check this out. Pretty damn good, huh?
Now we're going to talk about Guitar Hero, because that's all kind of people remember is MTV, emo, Guitar Hero, and then it was, I don't listen to rock and metal anymore. You know, and that's irritated me. I think Guitar Hero had a lot to do with that, despite Guitar Hero bringing a lot of people's attention, to rock and metal songs because of the songs that were on Guitar Hero. A lot of people just kind of left rock and metal back there.
But Dragon Force wouldn't have had the success that they had without it.
Sure,
I think it.
sure.
I think it helped continue to boost Killswitch Engage. Definitely a big push for Disturbed came from Guitar Hero. There was a lot of that kind of stuff in there. But yeah, there was, those were the hard ones to play. People were playing it because they were the hard ones to play. And, if you could play Through Fire and Flames from Dragon Force on Guitar Hero on Nightmare level or whatever it's called, that shit was insane. There used to be YouTube videos all over the place of people doing that stuff. And I'm just like,
Oh, dude,
why?
people take it to the next level now. Like, they're playing Through the Fire and Flames at 200% speed on the hardest difficulty, achieving 100%. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I don't see how that's even possible, but hey, whatever.
I can't get through it on easy.
That's what I was about to say. I'm sure there's one out there. Hopefully one will show up in the comments, but I don't know a guitar player that's good at Guitar Hero. I know drummers. I know just normie, non-musicians that are great at Guitar Hero. And for a drummer, Guitar Hero makes a lot of sense. For a guitarist, I'll speak for myself here, it doesn't make sense. We don't take our cues for these actions visually. I don't need visual cues to help remind me what to do. It's all up here. I just don't speak the Guitar Hero controller language, man.
My fingers just don't work that way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can play some ridiculous chords on the guitar, but if I'm starting to try to do stuff on Guitar Hero and 4 buttons, I'm like, this does not make sense.
And Dan absolutely nailed it, because as a drummer, when I would play Guitar Hero, like, I was playing the guitar on expert level, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you put me in front of the drum kit on Rock Band, which is pretty much the same thing. I'm sitting behind this drum kit and trying to play it.
That's so funny.
Even on easy level, I'm like, this does not feel natural and it does not make sense.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was really assuming that you would have said that the drums on, Rock Band or whatever other game that was, that would have made some sense for you, but it doesn't. That's so funny.
Maybe the button layout with the, the drum pads and stuff that they made, that can make sense, sure. But to me, it didn't make sense because you can't adjust the kit. You have to play it as it's laid out. That's it. And drums is like the most customizable instrument. You can set your toms where you want, your cymbals where you want, and you grow accustomed to your layout. And then you're playing this little tiny ass thing and it's stationary. You can't adjust it. And it's like, it don't feel comfortable. It don't make sense. And then they introduced the thing where you can use your own electric kit on it, which was a game changer. I've never done that one though.
I watched a video where a lot of the kids that play in like high school drumline and they're playing like the 4-tom setup, they're the ones that are really good at the Rock Band drums because that's something they're already used to. But, an actual acoustic percussion specialist that is used to cymbals and everything and now does not have all of that stuff, I can see where it could be really, really counterintuitive for you.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I was actually pretty good at the drums on Rock Band. I was terrible at the guitar.
Yeah, see, it's the exact opposite for us. That's funny.
Because like I said, I'm a lap drummer. I'm a steering wheel drummer,
Yeah, steering wheel drummer.
Have you seen those cymbals that you can attach to your air vent?
I may or may not have that in my shopping cart on Amazon right now.
Sounds like you do. You're a terrible liar.
Oh, man.
I kind of do. I haven't bought it
You
yet,
got to do it, man.
Well, look, the big reason we wanted to have you on, Major, was because of how you and I met. We met through a video game, and a great soundtrack won't make a bad game great, but all great games have iconic sound design, iconic soundtracks. It's not possible to develop an emotional connection with a game without great sound design. And I have a lot of great memories of songs from video games, and like I said, sound designs from some video games. Yeah. So, how about you guys? What memories of, I guess, video game music or sound design do you have?
I was a regular NES kid growing up. And, I'm a product of the very early 80s. So a lot of that old MIDI stuff, loved it. But the music really started evolving and changing when Sega Genesis came out. And I remember all of the soundtracks for, like, Sonic the Hedgehog's a really good example. It added in more dimension. And there's some great tracks on there. There was a motorcycle racing game called Road Rash. Had some sick riffs in there, like music-wise. Loved it. One of my earliest memories, and where it really kind of started sticking, I was just getting into Doom on Super Nintendo. I was playing that game for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time. But I was also just getting into Pantera at the time, and I started listening, and I'm like, that's Mouth for War. Like, I was like, holy shit.
Mouth for War.
Mouth for War.
Yeah.
The whole soundtrack, there's 6 or 8 songs that come directly from Vulgar Display of Power. And it's just like, holy crap. And so I went and researched it today before the podcast, and sure enough, the guy that wrote all that music was heavily influenced by Pantera and all that. If not blatantly ripping off some of those riffs. You'll also hear This Love and Walk, but they don't stick out as much because the whole song is not based on that. There's just some tidbits in there, but that was a big one for me. I played a lot of all the Zelda games. I loved all of them. And it was amazing how Zelda infused music into the gameplay as well. Even with A Link to the Past, that was the first introduction of having to play a flute to do something. And then you had Ocarina of Time, where the whole thing was about a dang flute. But all of the music and soundscape of all the Zelda games, even opening a door, going into a dungeon, all that kind of stuff, it had a feel that just sticks with you for the rest of your life. Another one of those would have been Super Metroid. The whole soundscape of that game was unreal.
Yes. There's some real heat on Metroid.
Oh, dude. There's some bangers in there. I quit gaming around 2018 when my PS4 crapped out on me, and I was like, I'm not spending money on another system ever again.
Yeah.
But when I was playing PS4, there was a game that I downloaded called Risk of Rain. And
dude, I forgot about Risk of Rain. I'm so glad you brought that up. I love the soundtrack to that game.
The soundtrack is great. It's all on YouTube. You can just sit there and listen to the entire thing. There are some riffs that I wrote based off of bits and pieces of that music. So
I'm not surprised.
That was a good one. Well, for me, so I grew up with Sega Genesis, not Nintendo. I did own a Nintendo 64, and the game that I primarily played on the 64 was GoldenEye, which it alone has its own great soundtrack. GoldenEye is iconic for that as well. But for the Sega Genesis days, Mark already nailed it. Sonic the Hedgehog. The Sonic the Hedgehog soundtracks were probably one of my favorites. There were also 2 other games on the Sega that weren't as popular as Sonic, but I loved the soundtrack on it. One would be Streets of Rage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Particularly Streets of Rage 2. That was the one I played, and I loved the music to every single level on that game. Another great one was Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master.
I remember that.
Shinobi had a great soundtrack too, man. And
so since you were a Sega kid, do you remember a Sega game called Gunstar Heroes?
Yes.
Oh, I've got pulled out my PS3 the other day, and I still have that downloaded on my PS3, and I've been playing it. And it's such a fun game, but the music's great on it too.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yep.
I don't know that one.
Dude, it's a fun game. I'm sure you can find an emulated version for your computer. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You should totally give it a shot, man. I think you'd like it.
Okay. One of my earliest memories I think not really one of my earliest memories with music and video games, but probably one of the more important ones for me was Mario Paint. Did either of you play Mario Paint?
Never did.
Okay, so Mark did. Mark will know where I'm coming from. But Bill, this was a Super Nintendo, similar to, Guitar Hero, gave you a little wacky controller to interact with your game. Mario Paint was the first time a at-home video game console gave you a mouse and a little mouse pad. There were a variety of things that you could do. Obviously, like the name implies, you could paint and do a lot of visual stuff. But there was a music maker. I went straight to that music maker. And I really I have to thank Mario Paint for kind of helping me with my initial music education because they helped me understand how to make a melody. And they had 3 demo songs to kind of help you visualize what each one of the little icons, what sounds each one of those icons would make. You know, you'd have a heart that would make a bass. You'd have a plane that would make a guitar sound. A star would give you a jingly, bright sound. You know, aside from that, I still to this day can't read music. I was in band in middle school, but that was my first attempt at really kind of understanding what reading music would be like because, yes, like you had the traditional format for assigning your notes and making your melodies happen. And talk about experimentation and learning. I spent hours with Mario Paint for that reason.
I forgot about that, man.
Man,
Great
by the
call out.
time, yeah, you know, by the time I was learning guitar by ear, I wonder how much more difficult it would have been for me if I wouldn't have had that kind of initial education with Mario Paint.
Do you remember the fly swatter game on there?
Yes, I do. Yeah. And again, you talk about some fun music. And, you know, think about that fly swatter game without the music. Think about that fly swatter game without the sounds that you would hear.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been the same experience. I know Mark will remember this, but Aerosmith had a game in the 90s.
If you're watching this,
You remember
then
that?
they've taken over.
Dude, I went to an arcade and they had
It's
that
up to
there.
you now.
Yeah.
Free play
Find
in
out about the new order.
Denton. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's free to play. I'm going to beat this game because I used to pump so many quarters into that fucking thing when I was a kid. And I beat it. But I'm going to tell you, that gun, because it vibrates the whole time, it's just like,
Yeah.
that thing was hot and you could smell like an electrical fire afterwards. And I was like, man, I
Wow.
put that thing through the paces. But yes, I remember that vividly.
I had
Put
no idea
many
they had a
hours
game.
into that. Oh yeah, and you'd have Steven Tyler in there and be like, "Good shot." You know, like-
No,
Now-
like, I know they got like the roller coaster. Well, they did. They took it down, but I know they had the roller coaster down in Orlando. But I
Aerosmith
didn't
had a
know.
roller coaster?
Yeah, it was called the Rock and Roller Coaster. No, dude, it was actually
That's-
cool because like as you're waiting in line to get to the ride, you know, like you're entering the roller coaster through a recording studio, and Aerosmith is in the studio. They're looking at you and they're like, "Yo, give these guys VIP tickets." And then
That's
you
cool.
go onto the roller coaster, and Steven Tyler counts it down, and then it just takes off 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's
So
insane.
You know, Journey also
Yeah.
had a game in 1983. I didn't play that one, but that Journey had a video game in 1983.
I didn't know that either.
YouTube fellas being big Sega Genesis heads, did you either of you play Moonwalker, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker?
No,
Yeah.
I did not play that one.
Should have. Game was
it was
fun.
pretty good.
Had a lot of great sounds. Had a lot of, you know, Michael Jackson's songs all throughout that game. And, you know, to kind of contrast that with some of the modern day inverse, Mark, can you think of a band that uses a lot of Nintendo sounds in their rock and metal?
Horse the band.
Exactly, yeah. Horse the Band. Bill, can
It
you think
wouldn't
of
be Horse the band without it.
It wouldn't be Horse the Band without those sounds, yeah. Bill, are there any bands you listen to that incorporate kind of video game sounds in their music?
I never really had a band in particular I listened to on the regular that did stuff like that. But growing up, you know, like with my first main band with my brother, you know, as we were doing our thing, there was a lot of like scene kids and like core bands, like crabcore bands.
Oh, yeah.
They would have sound effects like that in a lot of their music.
Yeah.
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 You know, there are a lot
It's
of people out there, content creators, that take modern music and midify it. And there's some really cool MIDI covers of music out there. My buddy Bobby sends them to me all the time, and I'm always just like, man, if that was on Nintendo when I was a kid, I would be a completely different musician today.
I got a question for y'all, since we're talking about bands and games. This is still technically a Sega platform. I also had the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sonic Adventure had a phenomenal soundtrack too. And that game had its majority of its soundtrack was written by a rock band called Crush 40.
Huh.
You familiar with them?
There's a number in the name.
Oh.
They have to be cringe.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No.
Mark has this theory that all bands with numbers in their names are cringe.
Oh, well. I don't know, man. Like Crush 40 wrote a really rockin' soundtrack to that game. Like that was like the first Sonic game where like it had like straight up drums and electric guitars and rockin' riffs and vocals. Like it was just awesome, dude.
Yeah, I never had a
opened my eyes on it.
Dreamcast, so I definitely didn't get to experience that Sonic game. And but I'm gonna look up Crush 40. You said that it was some of their music in that game.
No. It's songs that they wrote for the game.
Songs that they wrote for the game. Gotcha. Okay,
I believe
cool.
so. Yeah, I believe they wrote it for the game. One song from Crush 40 that I would suggest listen to is called "Open Your Heart." "Open Your Heart" by Crush 40. That was the theme song to Sonic Adventure, and that's what opened up the door to that band. And I started listening to some of their stuff after that.
Yeah, I didn't have a Dreamcast, but I had friends that had Dreamcast, so that was really my only experience with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had exposure to that game. I'm going to look it up after this podcast and definitely listen to it. I'm interested now.
Yeah, man, it was pretty good. Yeah, I played Sonic Adventure and the WWF wrestling games religiously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, does it count to listen to the wrestlers' entrance songs? Does that fall into this category?
That's got overlap because we're talking about where music bleeds into entertainment spaces, whether it's theme parks, video games, it bleeds into wrestling. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, all that counts for sure. And you mentioning that, Crush 40 making music for Sonic Adventure, I would imagine that all of us have some fond memories of Mario Kart. That'd be correct.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have anything that plays Mario Kart these days, but,
I'll still whoop your ass.
I'll whoop your ass.
I'd whoop both your asses.
Bill, we used to have a wrestling belt, and every night we would play Mario Kart, and the champion would get the title belt. And we did that every night, every single night. And it was fierce competition, man.
But, again, think about what kind of game Mario Kart would have been without that music. What kind of game it would have been without the sound design that went into it. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but when Mario Kart was initially made, they took a lot of inspiration from Japanese Grand Prix, real-life Grand Prix events. There were bands like T-Square and Dimension that were making music for those Japanese Grand Prix. And T-Square and Dimension, if you listen to it, the first thing you will think is, I'm in Mario Kart right now. So it is really interesting to hear where the soundtrack for Mario Kart, where it was born from. And I highly recommend both of you check out T-Square and Dimension sometime. You really will feel like you're, in your mind, you're playing Mario Kart without actually being there. Yeah.
I'm noting it down right now. T-Square?
Yes, T-Square, yes, sir.
T-Pain, cool brother.
Now, when you say T-Square, is it spelled out or is it like T2?
It's a T-square spelled out. Yeah.
Okay.
Also a band Dimension. It's just jazz fusion that really inspired a lot of the music that you hear in Mario Kart. And I believe that they went on to play songs for a lot of the new Mario Kart games that are out now.
I don't have the Switch 2, but I still play Mario Kart on the first Switch.
Okay.
And I still I play online, and I'm racing all these peeps around the world. And I can only imagine how toxic that game would be if it actually had voice chat. Mario Kart voice chat lobbies would go absolutely hard.
And they would. They would. I'd love to see
that would give Call of Duty a run for its money.
My buddy Bobby sent me a video one day, and it said something like the wife is saying to the husband, "Hey, can you take it easy on the kids at Mario Kart?" And then it pans back over to the husband, and he's got like a racing helmet on and puts the visor down. He goes, "Fuck no."
Hell no. This is where you learn.
Mario Kart ripping apart families for decades.
That's right. Lessons will be learned here.
Major, by chance, did you ever play Geometry Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did.
I did. I played it on the 360.
Yes, brother. Yeah. Another game with great songs. Music is so integral to your experience with Geometry Wars. As your score ramps up, the music ramps up in intensity as well. Great sound design and all of the enemies dying and the sort of feedback you get from your bullets actually bouncing around the stage and hitting enemies.
I just thought that game was just really well made overall. Like, I love that it wasn't like your little thing like on a flat map. You were going around a globe. And, and it just looked so cool.
Yeah.
And it was very fun to play. Just overall, that was a great game.
And it was, I mean, you could play it as a beginner, and then, within a couple days, you're feeling like you're the best, and then that game starts taking a crap on you. And it will turn boys into men. I will tell you what, that is a tough game once you start getting into the higher levels and stuff. But man, that was a lot of fun.
You know what game on Sega Genesis was turning me into a man pretty early? Was Toy Story. That game was difficult as hell.
Earthworm Jim was tough too.
Oh, Earthworm
Yeah.
Jim. Yeah, that one was. There was another one with cyborgs. Cyborg Justice, I think it was
I
called.
vaguely remember that.
You play as like a robot. You can customize it with like your different tops and different arm weapons, and you go around like these different planet levels destroying other cyborgs.
Was that Mech Warrior?
No, it wasn't
Is that-
Mech Warrior. It was on
Vaguely
Sega
remember
Genesis. It
that.
was called Cyborg
Yes.
Justice. It was like your typical like beat 'em up kind of game.
That's back in the
I
days
remember
where we
that
would
one.
go to the video store every weekend and rent a game. And we would just
yeah.
play it all day and all night until it had to go back on Sunday. You know?
That's right.
So,
You know, another game that comes to mind when it comes to licensing real music is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah.
All of us have plenty of memories with Tony Hawk. And yeah, you talk about discovering a lot of bands or a lot of real life bands and enjoying the game you're playing. And really, all of those bands were so critical to you being completely immersed in the Tony Hawk experience. Without that music, it was just kind of a skating game.
yeah.
Yeah, the first Tony Hawk introduced me to quite a few bands that I still kind of rock out to now. It was, what was the first one? Goldfinger?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I discovered Goldfinger, the Ernies, and on Tony Hawk's Underground, I discovered the band Refused.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Those were all such great games and just hours
Yeah.
and hours and hours spent playing that.
Yeah, that first
Now-
one was really good.
What
One of
was
the more
the
recent
game?
What game?
I think it was on, I cannot remember what console it was on, but it was like all these rap stars and it was like wrestling.
Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Def Jam,
Brother.
that was a great game.
You never played
I
that,
don't
Bill?
know this one.
Ooh.
It was fun.
If you ever, Bill, I'll put it to you this way: if you ever, it sounds like you played some of the WWF games and WCW games we had back then, right?
Sure,
It was
yeah.
very much in that same sort of genre of kind of wrestling style fighting, but you were in the city. There's people surrounding you. It's essentially just street fights, but you were rappers, and like it was Busta Rhymes fighting Ice Cube, and just all of the big rappers back then. They were their own characters in this game. And
Wow.
the game was so fun.
What platform was that on?
Man, that was on the original PlayStations. I want to say it might have been on N64, maybe PlayStation 2. I'll have to look it up and validate, but
I just had another game come to mind that had a great soundtrack on the PS1 is when it started. Twisted Metal.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of metal in Twisted
was
Metal.
freaking sick too now.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with that soundtrack. Did it have a lot of like original good sounding songs, or were they licensed music?
No, they were original songs for the game, but they were just really good. And
Well, that was
there
also an
one-
interesting time because that was really when we were finally able to graduate out of the limitations that Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis, all of those hardware limitations, although it bred a lot of creativity, it did not allow for the full spectrum of music. And yeah, once PlayStation came along, we were able to get songs finally in music. We're finally able to get songs.
There was one, I want to say it was on the PS2. Yeah, it was PS2. It was one of the Twisted Metal games on PS2. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was Twisted Metal Black, I think is what it was. The soundtrack for that particular game was so heavy and so good that they put on their website the entire soundtrack to be a downloadable file, folder.
Nice.
So you could just rock out the soundtrack like an album.
Well, no, that was really fun to kind of video games and music. I don't think I have any other major topics on that I wanted to discuss. Anything else from you guys on video games and music?
No, I
Not for me.
would say we covered a good part.
Yeah. No, that was a fun little nostalgia trip there.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna run into lightning round here in a little bit and get some lightning round questions going. We'll get started with Mark, and then we'll just kind of go around the room here. Bill, do you have any lightning round fun questions you want to throw our way?
I put together a little list. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Good.
got a couple questions I guess I could ask you. But I'll let one of you guys start if you want, or if there was. Well, I know Mark wanted to talk about that one band. What was it? Port Noir.
Oh,
yeah. Let's talk
do
about
that.
this Port Noir album.
Yeah, Port Noir. I sent it to Daniel. I don't know, what has it been, a week and a half? And I'm going to tell you, step kids, look at your suggested artists on Apple Music and Spotify. This is how you find other good bands that you may not have known about. And I was trying to force myself to start liking fall. I really do like Carmen Yaka. And I started listening to like Valjarta and stuff, and I wasn't really connecting. Then I found a band called A Cold Night for Alligators. Really enjoyed that album. And then the suggested artist for them was Port Noir, and I started listening to it, and I was like, oh God, this is what I'm talking about. It reminded me so much of the Deftones, and I took a lot from that. And I've had that album on repeat for the last week and a half. It's one of those things where I sent Daniel a message. I'm like, you got to listen to this right now.
Look, I'm making a face because Mark is pissing me off right now because we have a Discord. Step kids, if you're not in our Discord, I'll leave our Discord link in the video description. Join up. I try to share some stuff in there. Mark doesn't pay attention to Discord. And my friend Paravarium, what's up, brother? Para shared this a long time ago in our Discord. Said it was actually the time that we were listening to either Carmen, I think it was Carmen Yaka. Anyway, he shared that album when it released. He's like, yeah, I'm listening to that, but this came out. I'm listening to this Port Noir, and it's so good. I just have no complaints with it. It's so good. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, no. So I was listening to that Port Noir album that you guys shared, and I'm kind of on the fence about it. And here's why. Musically, that album was phenomenal. Every single song, like the rhythm, the guitar, the drums, musically, that album was really good. I was very impressed musically. But I'm not going to lie, I feel like the vocalist made me feel like I was listening to the same song over and over again.
I'd agree with that to an extent.
I hear you there. Yeah. At times, the vocals are a little unpleasant, but that's about it. I'd say about maybe 10% of the total overall time. I'm like, ew, gross. But the rest of it, it's perfectly fine. It's great.
He's a good vocalist. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he only has one sound, and it's just clean.
Yeah.
He only has just clean and that's it, and it was kind of the same sound for every song, so I felt like it was like on repeat in a way. But musically, I was very impressed with that album.
I've noticed that with a lot of the Swedish bands, that the vocals tend to be kind of one note, and I don't know if that's a cultural thing or what. I also heard some parts in there, like he does this kind of like soft rap part, reminded me a lot of Vessel in one of the songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you picked up on that.
I can remember that part.
That could be a Swedish thing. Because I'm a big fan of Ghost, and if I'm not mistaken, they're from Sweden too. So
I'm not a big fan of Ghost, but I also like Arby's. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Arby's, but I don't like Ghost.
I love Arby's, but every time I eat it, it's not good afterwards. My only issue with this Port Noir album, there were some guitar riffs in there that felt like a little too Deftonesy for me. There's even one riff in there that sounds just like the intro riff to Passenger by the Deftones. So, I'm sure you heard it too.
I heard it. I was like, that sounds like Deftones.
Yeah, dude.
I heard that.
There's about 3 or 4 instances in the whole album. I'm like, that's a little too close for comfort. I don't know if they just don't think people listen to Deftones in Sweden or what, but you look at me like that, but I hear these things, and I'm a huge Deftones fan.
I know you're a huge Deftones fan, Mark. It's like you don't appreciate the influence that they've had over the next generation. Do you know how many bands?
And then there's
many bands.
Blatant plagiarism.
Blatant plagiarism, bitch. What about Loathe? Like this is your issue with Loathe also. I feel like you.
But I don't think Loathe is like blatant plagiarism. I think Loathe is stylistically doing things like the Deftones, but they are not making you go, "Did they just steal that riff?" I don't think Loathe has ever given me that impact. Whereas I got that impact on at least 3 instances in this Port Noir album. So
I didn't pick up those instances off this Port Noir album. I've absolutely had a moment with Loathe where I'm like, okay, boys, watch it. Like that's not yours. Really, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this Port Noir album because I've listened to it probably 2 or 3 times. I've just plain enjoyed it. I've had very few complaints with it. I would easily say this is probably the best album ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is an AOTY contender for me, I will say, so far.
Okay.
It's early in the year still.
Yeah, we've got to put together our album of the year list and have it ready for, I guess, some November debates. That way we can settle in December. So, yeah. Would you say best album ever or worst album ever, Bill?
There's no in between.
Neither.
Don't you fence it, bitch. Pick one. Which one is it?
You can't be Switzerland, okay?
Wow. All right. I would say no. I don't think it is. It's good. But I don't think it's album of the year.
It's worst album ever then. Commit to it. You can do it.
I don't know, man. I think any Cannibal Corpse album with Chris Barnes is worst album of the year.
You irritate me, Bill.
Fighting words. That's gonna get us some comments right there.
Cannibal Corpse with worst
said,
album of the year.
I didn't say that sincerely. I said that because of his whole E thing. I was just making a joke on it.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
you heard it here, folks. Major thinks Portland War is the worst album ever.
Definitely did not say that.
All right. Well,
Oh man.
it's time for lightning round. We're gonna fire some questions back and forth and see how this goes. I have no idea what these boys are gonna ask me. They don't know what I'm gonna ask them. So here we go.
So I'm gonna take two questions and form them together to make one, because I originally was gonna ask, what is the greatest guitar riff ever written? But with us being musicians, that's a damn near impossible question to answer because there's a lot of good ones out there. So I'm going to change it up a bit and ask, what is a guitar riff that you guys think everybody should at least hear once?
I got it already. I have to verify my answer because it's kind of a deep cut from one of my favorite artists.
What was the Protest the Hero song off of Fortress that started off with the tapping arpeggios?
Sequoia
Did
Throne.
you come here to kill? Sequoia Throne. That is a riff that is just a face melter. I still enjoy it to this day, and I think everybody should at least hear that riff. Whether you like
Okay.
metal or not, it is sick.
Yeah, but the song
Okay.
Satellite from David Maxim Mikic. This featured Dan Whiten on vocals, but this is an 8-minute and 36-second monster. It's a beast of a song, but I'd say somewhere towards the post-bridge area before the final chorus kicks in. Everyone needs to. That riff just neutralizes me in such a great way. I love that riff. I love that song. I love that riff. That's one everybody needs to hear. How about you, Bill? What's yours?
The first one that comes to my mind, it's not even a heavy intro. It's more softer. It's from an Ozzy song, and it's called Killer of Giants.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That guitar intro for Killer of Giants is just beautiful. Mark knows.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I have to look up Killer of Giants because I'm so ashamed to say this. I'm very agnostic when it comes to my classic rock. I need to go back and I need to listen to my classic rock.
Hey, it's all right, man. I'm very sheltered when it comes to my music. I grew up more on the mainstream stuff. So, you know, like
Yeah.
you guys talk about like these bands I've never even heard of. I'm like, dang, I'm either uneducated or I'm just insanely mainstream sheltered. So,
I'm just very hungry for new music all the time. I have a bad tendency to wear something out, and I'm like, I need something new. You know.
Yeah.
I've got one for you guys. What metal song would make a excellent country song?
all of them?
Not wrong.
I mean,
You hear that, country fans?
Dude, yeah. That's why, you know, when all these country artists are hiring musicians, that's why you see metal guitarists playing in these country bands. It is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll try to think of one in particular. But the right answer is all, and if not most.
And, you know, also the inverse is true, real quick. You know, the inverse is true that, you know, there's a lot of country music that if it were approached a different way would appeal to other audiences that tend to stay away from the genre.
You know which one I think would make a good country song is Cemetery Gates from Pantera.
Oh,
You're damn
yeah.
right. You're damn right.
That's a
Cemetery
great.
Gates would make
great
a good country song.
It would. Great pick.
It's probably already out there. Somebody's probably already done it. The reason why I asked this question, I saw a TikTok the other day, is somebody country swapped Chevelle the Red.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, that works way too well. Like,
And you know you know, Chevelle the Red, that riff, I've never really liked that riff because it's been just very kind of ice creamy, samey to me.
Yeah.
But I can see the song going farther in country. I'm not going to say like this is the one, this is the greatest, but this would work well. Crying While You're Dancing by Dayseeker, I think that'd be a terrific country song. So yeah, that's
there's
mine.
a lot of modern metalcore stuff that I think would countrify really well, for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm interested to hear what you guys got to say about this, us being kind of around the same age. What band today is not largely considered dad rock, but it's time to admit it, it really is dad rock?
Metal band or just any band?
Any band.
Incubus.
Shut the fuck up. Be quiet. Wash your mouth out.
I
with
love
soap.
Incubus.
Shut
I
up.
love Incubus, but they're classic rock at this point.
I have beef with your
They've
answer
had a
about
30-year tenure.
So-
Brandon Boyd's just about on a walker.
So
I'm
when I
kidding
think
about
of dad
that.
rock, I think of bands like Nickelback, of course. Nickelback is one that comes to mind. Unfortunately, Creed is also dad rock. Is it because the characteristics of their sound or their tenure as a band? Or is it both? I mean, I feel like it
I
kind
would
of
say
has to be
both.
both.
I
Yeah.
think both.
I would say both.
Yeah.
Is Stained considered a dad rock band?
You know what? I bet you a lot of folks outside of our generation would consider it dad rock. I think Stain's a great answer.
Godsmack, Disturbed.
Yeah. Okay.
And
My
when does
bold
it cross over from dad rock to butt rock?
I thought
It's an
dad rock and butt
experiment.
rock were the same thing.
I agree to that. I think they are about the same thing.
Yeah, I think they're the same.
We need an investigation. We need to figure out really where the division is there. Are they different? Are they the same? I think we should look into that one day for an episode. My answer would be Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit. It's time to admit it. They're dad rock.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but I ain't mad at it because Limp Bizkit's one of my favorite bands.
And John Otto, one of my favorite drummers. I fucking love John Otto.
Outstanding
Oh,
drummer.
yeah, dude.
Outstanding
Excellent.
drummer. What is one album of any genre that everybody should at least give one listen to?
Mm. No More Tears, Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay. Yeah.
That would be my
Yep.
deep cut. More current. Who Bit the Moon, David Maxim Mikic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not my answer, but I'll agree on David Maxim. That is an album, in any genre that anybody
Any
should
genre.
be listening to. Yeah, that is one for sure. Man, it's the right answer. I might get some shit for this. It's the right answer. Which album though? Hold on. I've got the band. I'm just trying to think of which album it should be. Sleep Token, Taking Back to Eden. I feel like I'm
You
kind
know
of.
what?
I feel like I'm kind of just throwing a softball answer there, but given the
It's
question,
approachable.
yeah.
To be honest, because I know around when we first met, you asked me about Sleep Token. And at that time, I said I didn't have an answer for it because I never really listened to them. I never understood the hype behind them. But since then, I've gave them a fair chance, and I have to say they are a good band. So I can understand that answer. My answer is going to be a little bit more out there. In fact, I shared this band with you, Dan. You said the vocals weren't your thing, but it's going to be that Gemini Syndrome band.
Ah, yeah, okay, yes.
Their
Never heard of them.
first album, Lux. I think that is a fantastic album from start to finish. I can listen to that whole album without skipping a single song.
Okay, I've got that one noted down here. You also showed me Earthside, I believe. I like them a lot. I really like that.
Which one?
Earthside, I believe.
Yes, I did tell
Yes,
you that.
dude.
Yes.
I sincerely enjoy that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I
They
had a feeling
came out
you
with a
would.
new song here recently, and I want to say I listened to it and enjoyed it, but I need to remind
Send me a
myself.
reminder to check that out, and I'll listen to it at work.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
What
Mark.
is something that bands should just stop fucking doing live?
Asking for a mosh pit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can agree there. Yeah, if
I'm too
let it
fragile.
happen naturally.
I feel like if the mosh happens, just let it happen. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be like, split up. I want y'all here. I want y'all there. And when this drops, I want y'all to go. It's like, well, no, now I'm not going to do it.
I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think vocalists should stop holding the microphone out into the crowd. I didn't pay to listen to the crowd sing. I paid to listen to you sing. And they do it a lot as a crutch. They do it as a crutch because sometimes they can't hit the note. They know they can't hit it, so they're like, "Oh, you sing it."
Yeah. Or they
If you-
forget
if you
the
can't hit
lyrics.
it-
But at the same time,
Yeah.
though, it's a good move for crowd interaction. So that's kind of a gray line answer in my book.
I see both sides of it. It has always driven me nuts for some reason. I think the only person that I ever thought really got away with doing it and doing it well was Freddie Mercury, because he had that silly little mic stand and he would just hold the whole mic stand out into the crowd, and that was
Yeah.
cool, you know. And that's because the whole arena was singing it along, and Freddie Mercury could sing. So we know he wasn't doing it. He was doing it for crowd interaction, but I think a lot of vocalists use it as a crutch. And like, if you can't hit the note, have the band tune down a half a step. God damn. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
make it easy on yourself.
Mark, I'm upset with your answer because that was really the thought that was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't find it yet. That is my answer also. That really irritates me. Like when I'm really looking forward to maybe the crescendo vocally, the crescendo of a particular song that I've been waiting to see done live. And then they phone it in by, oh, let's hear you guys. Like, no, I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear them either. I want to hear you do this. That's why I'm here. Yes. Oh, that irritates me. Yes.
Now, to be
God.
fair, I do like it when a vocalist like spots somebody in the crowd and they're like, I know that person can probably sing that part, and they'll hold the mic down to that person, and let a fan sing that part. And I've seen people
That,
nail it, and I've seen people completely screw it up. But either way, I think that's fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, just generally holding it, they ain't picking that up. It's just a stage.
Who was it just recently? I didn't see them live. I was watching live performances of the new Linkin Park. Mark, keep your mouth shut about Emily. Maybe we'll talk about Emily another day. But man, she was singing What I'd Done live, and the big What I've Done part comes up, and this bitch hold the mic out. I'm like, Don't do that. Please don't do that. I want to hear you do this. Like, you are in
Chester
a
wouldn't have done
now
that.
I can't help but think she did that because that's one of the most iconic vocal performances from Chester, and maybe she's trying to respect it and let the audience sing it in his memory instead of her butchering it.
I hear you, and I can get on board with the other side of this, being crowd participation and creating a moment that just kind of lived in that time in that space. But she's got big shoes to fill, and I still don't think that she's really filled those shoes. And moments like that don't help.
No. I know you said you're going to wait to talk about the Linkin Park, but I just want to share my opinion with one comment because I know you need to roll out here shortly too. My thing with her joining Linkin Park is this. She's not a bad singer, but if they wanted her, they should have started a new group under a new name because Linkin Park was Chester.
Yeah.
And I feel like bringing her in under the name Linkin Park was a slap in the face to Chester. That's just my opinion. That's nothing against her as a musician. I just think it's more of a respect thing to Chester.
And I'd bet that they probably considered that, but I think they probably made the decision that they made from a marketing standpoint. Once you have built a brand like Linkin Park, it's hard to say, okay, us ex-members from Linkin Park are now, going to be Butt Stuff 69. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely my least favorite. I'll make my final question one related to drums.
Okay.
Can you guys think about a drummer who isn't necessarily your favorite drummer ever, but you absolutely love their style and you're glad that they're around? I asked that question because Pliny just came out with a new song here recently, and although Pliny's kind of hit and miss with me, man, this new song hits so well for me. I'm like, man, I'm so glad that Pliny is making music. Like, I thought to myself, like, brother, please don't ever stop just making music. I'd love to hear what you do. Who is that for drummers?
Drummer for Mudvayne. I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I've always liked his style. Our original drummer, Cody, was extremely influenced by him. And I just like how playful he is with the double bass. He's not giving you this constant machine gun double bass. He's being very fluttery with it. And I don't really know how to explain it because I'm not a drummer, but I just always liked that double bass style. And he had a lot of energy. And I think a very close second to that would be Morgan Rose from Seven Dust.
Yeah.
I think a highly underrated drummer. I think he's highly respected, but I think also highly underrated. I went through a top 100 list of drummers today, just kind of reading through it, and I was so surprised not to see Abe Cunningham. I was so surprised not to see Morgan Rose, and it was just like, why does everybody think Neil Peart's the best? Like, come on, and he's great.
That's because he was way ahead of his time for that era.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, my answer, I think you guys are going to hate.
Rev?
No. I should have seen that one coming because I know that's his favorite band in the whole world. No. All right. A drummer that I am very glad to have around and doing what he does best is Mike Portnoy.
No, I'm not mad at that.
Not mad at all.
But however, I like Mike Portnoy more as a drummer than I like Dream Theater.
That's...
Reason being is because I can't get behind the 9+ minute long songs. I have ADHD and I lose focus real quick. Like they have a song that has like a 3.5 minute intro. I'm already distracted, not listening anymore.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm not saying Dream Theater sucks. They're good, but I don't have the mental capacity to keep up with their music, you know? Does that make sense?
I'm going to be honest with you.
But-
I respect Dream Theater. I don't listen to Dream Theater. Every time I listen to Dream Theater and that fucking vocalist starts singing, I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't.
Same thing
I don't
with
have an
Hawkins.
issue. I don't have an issue with their sound at all, but yeah, I get distracted real quick when it comes to trying to listen to their music or their albums. But Mike Portnoy as a drummer, though, is phenomenal. Like when I watch his solo stuff, and he's just an absolute monster.
Did you see him on Drumeo?
Yes, and I think it's insulting they gave him Nickelback.
It was funny, but he fucking killed it.
He did. I just find it funny. I feel like they knew what they were doing with that. They're like, you got one of the best prog drummers ever, and you give him fucking Nickelback. Come on.
Yeah, they're making content. They gotta have
But
some shock value.
it's also funny because Mike Portnoy was supposed to drum for them.
Oh no.
So the fact he didn't know it just makes it hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, he was supposed to
man.
drum up for them for one of their tours. So the fact he didn't recognize it just makes it all that much hilarious.
my answer is one of the twins from Misery Signals. One of them is Brandon, the other one's something or other. The twins are the guitarist and the drummer. And I do have, I mean, they're one of two bands for me that I have in my library that share that characteristic in the band, where the drummer and one of the guitar players are twins. And there is this unspoken connection that they have that really produces a great product, whether it be Contortionist, whether it be Misery Signals, but I'm going to give that to Misery Signals. I believe his name is Brendan. I could be mistaken. But man, I just love Misery Signals drummer. I have a lot to thank Misery Signals for. They were a huge inspiration for me. Misery Signals, their drummer, second to none, man. Love the work he does. I really hate that Misery Signals did their final show. We were here recently within the last year. It makes sense. Misery Signals is one of those bands that's highly influential. Odds are it's your favorite band's favorite band kind of thing, but they didn't
I've
get
never
the
heard of
commercial
them.
success.
I just jotted them
Misery
down. I'm gonna
Signals
check
is
them
good.
out. I'm gonna check them out. I just jotted them down.
Contortionist also. I mean, their drummer and their guitar player, they're twins. And I would imagine in the studio, they're probably just like, hey, you want to, yeah, that's fine. And then they just make a song happen, like twins have that. And I think it's such an edge for a band to have twins in the band. We're going to wrap up lightning round with a either or quick for you, Major. We're
Okay.
going to run through some drum brands, and to keep it interesting, I'm going to run through some cymbal brands as well. So,
Ooh. Okay.
first we'll run with cymbals. Would you
Okay.
go with Zildjian or Sabian?
Oh man, I love both. Shit. See, I'm using Zildjians now, but my heart will always be with Sabian.
Okay, so Sabian's your answer?
I would say Sabian.
Sabian. So, me and Mark are not drummers. Help us understand your answer a little bit.
When the first time I ever tried using Zildjian, I cracked my cymbal within the first week. So I had the mindset that those cymbals are just not high quality. Sabians, I never had that problem with, and
Okay.
I used Sabian for like 15 years. Never had a problem, but when I joined Echostone, I swapped to Zildjian.
Okay.
And they're holding up a lot better. They sound great, but at some point, I don't know. I might go back to Sabian. I think maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
Sabian or Meinl?
Oh, see, now I've never had the pleasure to use a Meinl myself. I've only seen them on YouTube videos and heard them in recordings. But going off of what I heard, I would probably say Meinl.
Okay.
They're
So
also very expensive.
that's what it sounds like. The way you described it, I'm like, okay, so they're pricey and they're the ones every drummer wants. Okay. Meinl or Paste? Pasty?
Peisty.
Peisty?
That's how I call it anyway. Peisty, yeah. I would still say Meinl.
Meinl or Wuhan?
Meinl.
Now, we're getting into some off brands here that I'm not too familiar with. Meinl or UFIP, an Italian company.
Meinl.
Meinl or Dream Cymbals, Canadian company.
Ah, Dream. Oh, man. I'm still going to go with Meinl.
And to wrap it up, Meinl or Soul Tone Cymbals.
Meinl.
Okay,
Meinl.
easy. Meinl, okay, good to know.
All right, we're going to start off with Yamaha or Pearl.
Pearl.
Okay. Pearl
I
or
don't like the
Ludwig?
way you just shit on Yamaha like that.
Yamaha. Listen. Yamaha is a great company. They have all kinds of different products and stuff of all types, whether it's music or yard work equipment. They have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. But to me, I mean, yeah, they make drums and e-drums, but to me, when it comes to their musical side, they're better on the electronic side, like keyboards and stuff.
Okay. No, they're great in guitars. I'll say that. That's why I got a little upset. I'm like, man, why are you going to do Yamaha like that? They're great in guitars.
Just from a drummer's perspective.
Okay. All right.
You be nice to our guest, Daniel.
He and I give each other crap all the time.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right,
wait, what was it? It was Yamaha and what?
Pearl.
I forgot. Pearl. Okay.
You chose Pearl. Yep. So
Yep,
now we're
yep.
going Pearl and Ludwig.
I will still go with Pearl.
Okay.
This one I think will be harder for you. Pearl or DW?
Oh, DW.
Yeah. DW or Tama?
Tama.
Tama?
And that's my
Interesting.
answer, Tama.
You said you stood on business pretty quick there with that answer of Tama.
Oh, yeah. I love Tama.
All
They
right,
have a
Tama
special
or
place in my
Gretsch?
heart. Tama.
Okay. Tama or Mapex?
Tama.
All right. And Tama or Sonar?
Tama.
All right. Tama and
But
Meinl.
I want to throw... yeah. No. Wait, Tama or Meinl? Is that what you said?
No, Tama and Meinl. That's your setup.
Yeah, that's your kid. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I got to throw it out there though, because I am an endorsed artist with these guys. But above all else, I will have to say SJC, because that's the kit. And SJC is the drum company that I'm repping, and I'm using their kit now, and it is absolutely awesome. So I don't want them to like potentially see this and be like, oh, you didn't give your own company any love. Okay,
Right.
cool.
If I would have known you were an endorsed artist, I would have had that one in there.
Yeah, no, you're good. But
Yeah.
no,
SJC, that falls on us. We weren't aware of your brand. So sorry about that.
No.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. But here's the thing, though. You know, like you guys had a list of like the more popular brands, which is understandable. You know, you got brands that are good, but they're not as popular. Like SJC, obviously. There's another brand that I was using before SJC. It was called Crush. There's another drum company that's pretty decent. Orange County Percussion.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. So, you know, there's really good companies. Another one, Pork Pie. So,
Heard of.
Yeah. So, you know, there's other companies out there that aren't as popular that still make really good stuff. But as far as like y'all's this or that with the popular names, you know, there was nothing wrong that you guys did. It was fun.
You know,
I
I
enjoyed it.
remember when August Burns Red initially came out. Mark, do you remember the name of the drum company they were sponsored by at the time?
I don't.
I had a lot of hopes. I don't know where this company is these days, but I had a lot of hopes for this company because they had a great logo, great name, and they had August Burns Red's drummer behind them at the time, Truth Drums.
Oh, yeah.
Truth Drums.
Wasn't
were
David
beautiful.
doing some website work for them and stuff?
He
or something
was,
like
yeah.
that?
We had a
Yeah.
buddy that was doing Truth's website at the time, yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
forgot
was
all
another
about
drummer
that.
in my area. They had a Truth kit, and it sounded really good.
Yeah.
Weren't they really expensive, I feel like?
Yeah, they were. If I remember correctly, they were a little pricey. Yeah.
More on the boutique side.
Hmm.
Right on.
But of the common popular names, though, DW takes the cake with price. They are like 3 to 4 times more expensive than the other ones.
Ooh.
But from what I hear, it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like you can get like one of the other companies will have a kit
Man.
that's like say like $1,000 or $1,500, and then DW will have a similar kit that's costing you like $3,500. So
You better check that buying power on your firm.
Yeah, that's right.
Got
Now,
to
that's
Klarna
not a
them
crap-
bitches.
That's right. You're the Klarna DW kid. Damn
Yeah.
right.
And that's not me. That's not me talking smack on them by any means. You know, they know their worth, and from what I've heard, it's worth every penny.
Well, awesome. Well, Major, we got to wrap things up today. I cannot thank you enough for joining us. It was a lot of fun to have you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Before you
Good
go,
times.
please plug your socials, Echostone socials, upcoming shows. What you got?
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, I'll do the band plugs first. My band is Echostone. You can find us on the social media. Our primary platforms are Instagram and Facebook. Echostone on Facebook, all one word, spelled out exactly as it sounds. And on Instagram, it's Echostone_band. And as far as my stuff, my handle is MajorDrumKill, all one word. I'm everywhere: Facebook, Instagram. I even stream on Twitch.
That's right.
So, Sometimes I'll do my gaming up there, or I'll do my drum streams. People tune in, request music, and I'll drum along to it.
And if you play World of Warcraft, find these two idiots and stab them.
Good luck. Good luck. It ain't gonna happen. All right, Major, much love. Thank you so much for joining us. Step kids, please remember to show Echostone some love. Go listen to their songs. Go check them out if you're in the Florida area. Florida, Myrtle Beach, right? Myrtle Beach?
Oh, I'm sorry. You told me to talk about the shows. Yes, we have June 12th. We're playing at the House of Blues in Orlando. In fact, hold up, because we got a couple. Let me pull up the schedule here, and I'll tell you guys exactly.
Sure. While he's pulling that up, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Again, we're at 67 subscribers. That sucks. Put it at 69 subscribers. Just free. It's free. Just click the button, make it turn gray. That'd be awesome. Costs you nothing. Helps us a lot.
And if you become the 69th subscriber, make sure you message us so we know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So June 12th, we're playing at the House of Blues in Orlando. We are playing with a band called Supernova. It's an Oasis tribute band.
Oh, cool.
And then, July 25th, we're also at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. And that is like a local set, just a bunch of local bands in the area. And I believe they have us headlining that one.
Nice.
And then, And then August 29th, we're playing at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach again with the Linkin Park tribute band, In the End.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, man, sincerely, best wishes to Echostone. I love what you guys do. I think you guys got a lot of wind in your sails, and you're going to go far. We're rooting for you, brother.
Thank you very much. We're busting ass on it, man. We're trying.
All right. Well, we are signing off. Mark, brother, always great to see you. Major, catch up with you another time.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.